Let's start with our first news. Arman is going all in, placing a massive bet of $1 million on Justin Gaethje to defeat Ilia in a live stream reveal. He even showed proof that the bet was actually placed, shocking everyone watching. Side note, fans thought UFC fighters were not allowed to bet, but the conversation continued anyway. Arman's friends questioned the odds, saying Gaethje is a big underdog at plus 500. Others pushed it further, saying it was closer to plus 600. The group debated the risk, with some saying just put 50K instead of going all in. But Arman shut it down, insisting on big money only. He repeated the idea of going all in, pushing the stakes even higher. He made it clear he believes Gaethje has the power and experience to pull off a surprise victory in this massive matchup tonight fight. Someone asked again how much, and the answer stayed the same: 1 million. Reactions exploded as the group realized the scale of the bet, calling it insane and unbelievable. One voice joked that he would need to call a couple of guys to even consider that amount. Another laughed, saying it would take serious confidence to risk that kind of cash. As the bet was confirmed, the conversation shifted to potential payout numbers. If Arman wins, the payout would reportedly be around $5.7 million. The excitement grew as they imagined the return on investment. Someone shouted in disbelief, reacting to the pressure of the situation. The group kept hyping it up, calling it a high-risk, high-reward move. Despite the chaos, Arman stayed locked in on his decision. The discussion ended with everyone still processing the size of the bet. Move on to another news. Sean Strickland continues to go on a heated run of trash talk directed at Justin Gaethje after Gaethje blasted him for constantly bashing America. Strickland has doubled down, calling Gaethje a traitor for suggesting fighters should boycott the June 14 event, following online claims about Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu attending. Tensions escalated further after Strickland made controversial remarks online, leading to reports that he was temporarily banned from the platform. Recently, he fired another series of shots, this time dragging Gaethje's manager Ali Abdelaziz into the conversation. On X, Strickland posted a cryptic message asking, "Who am I?" describing a fighter whose manager had been arrested in the past and later became an FBI informant, while questioning loyalty and nationality. The post quickly went viral and sparked backlash. Fans responded strongly, with one pointing out that legal troubles and passport issues are not unusual in high-pressure situations. Strickland fired back, insisting that Gaethje represents something he disagrees with and calling it about principles and being American. The back and forth continued as Strickland clashed with multiple accounts online, including sarcastic exchanges where he doubled down on his stance, refusing to respect anyone connected to what he called the wrong side of things. When asked about Gaethje's manager, he made it clear he would never work with him, even if it meant losing millions of dollars, repeating that his loyalty comes first. Strickland also took shots on Instagram, openly stating he would be supporting Ilia instead of Gaethje, marking a shocking reversal, as he said it would be the first time in his career rooting against an American fighter. In another post referencing Gaethje's media appearance, he added more fuel by making a provocative comment accompanied by symbolic imagery, escalating the online feud even further. Despite the controversy, Strickland continues to stay extremely active on social media, keeping the rivalry alive and drawing massive attention from fans across the MMA world. The situation continues to spread across the MMA community, with fans debating whether Strickland has gone too far or is simply speaking his mind in an unfiltered way. The rivalry between both fighters has now become one of the most talked about storylines online, with clips and posts circulating rapidly across platforms, adding even more pressure ahead of upcoming events and future matchups involving both names. Analysts have also pointed out how these constant exchanges are shifting attention away from fights themselves and turning the spotlight heavily toward personal conflict and online drama. For now, the feud remains active across social platforms, with neither side showing signs of slowing down, and the MMA world watching closely as every new post adds more intensity to the ongoing rivalry unfolding further. Move on to another news. Following the fight, Bilal reacted to the loss on Instagram with a calm and reflective message. He wrote, "Alhamdulillah for everything. Too blessed to be stressed." He added that you don't truly find out who you are when everything is going your way. You find out when things don't. He continued by saying he is grateful for the journey, grateful for the lessons, and promised, "I'll be back." He also took a moment to thank his supporters, his team, and his family for standing behind him through the ups and downs of his career. Belal also showed sportsmanship by congratulating his opponent on the big win, acknowledging the performance and calling it the result of hard work, paying off on the road toward a potential title shot. Despite the loss, his message carried a strong tone of resilience, focusing on growth rather than disappointment, and emphasizing that setbacks are part of the process at the highest level of competition. Meanwhile, attention also shifted to other fighters on the card, as Brendan Allen made his presence felt earlier at the UFC Apex, adding more action and discussion around the event overall. The atmosphere remained intense as fans and analysts continued breaking down performances and what each result could mean for the division moving forward. The result sparked wider conversation across the MMA community, with many pointing out Belal's consistency, mindset, and ability to bounce back from adversity throughout his career. Others highlighted how competitive the division remains, where every fight can quickly shift momentum and rankings in a major way. As reactions continued to pour in online, supporters praised Belal for his humility in defeat and his ability to stay grounded even after a tough night inside the cage. His message reinforced the idea that every setback is part of a longer journey, and that elite fighters often return stronger after learning from defeat. For now, focus remains on what comes next for Belal, as fans wait to see how he rebounds from this loss and what adjustments he brings into his future performances inside the octagon. Move on to another news. Caio Borralho is now officially out of his scheduled fight against Joe Pyfer at UFC 330 due to a serious injury, forcing the UFC to search for a replacement opponent for Pyfer on the August 15th card. The situation developed after Borralho revealed he has been dealing with a fractured rib that worsened in the final stages of recovery. According to his statement, he initially suffered the injury just 2 weeks before his fight against RDR, but still went on to compete and secured a win despite the damage. However, complications followed after the fight. Borralho explained that the rib did not heal properly, leading to a dangerous deviation that even caused concerns about a possible lung puncture. This ultimately forced doctors to move forward with surgery to stabilize the injury. In a recent Instagram post, Borralho shared an image of his post-surgery condition and described the procedure as a success. He credited his medical team and his doctor for quickly organizing everything and ensuring the operation went smoothly. He referred to his recovery as having bionic ribs, highlighting the intensity of the surgery and the unusual nature of his injury situation. Despite the setback, he confirmed that his fight with Joe Pyfer at UFC 330 will not be happening. Borralho expressed disappointment, but remained positive, stating that he is focused on recovery, physiotherapy, and returning to full strength as soon as possible. He emphasized that his priority now is to ensure his body is 100% before stepping back into competition. He also thanked fans for their support and positive messages during his recovery process, promising that he will be back doing what he loves inside the UFC octagon. With Borralho out, the UFC is now under pressure to find a suitable replacement opponent for Pyfer as the UFC 330 card approaches, leaving uncertainty around the matchup and adding another late change to the event lineup. Fans are now waiting to see who steps in on short notice, as discussions continue behind the scenes about possible replacements and how the division will be affected moving forward. Additional updates are expected soon as the UFC continues negotiations for a replacement opponent, with matchmakers working under pressure to keep the UFC 330 lineup intact despite the late withdrawal. Official announcements will likely follow in the coming days as the promotion finalizes its revised fight card very soon. Move on to another news. Dana White is now reportedly involved in another legal situation connected to Zuffa Boxing, as the promotion faces a fresh lawsuit shortly after its launch under the TKO banner. According to reports, Zuffa Boxing has been hit with multiple legal challenges, adding further pressure to TKO's already active legal department, which has been dealing with ongoing antitrust class action lawsuits involving the UFC and former fighters. This latest case comes not long after the launch of Zuffa Boxing, when Frank Warren's Queensberry Promotions filed a lawsuit alleging that the company breached existing promotional agreements involving the Saudi-backed Sella project. The claim suggests that the alleged breach may have cost Queensberry Promotions up to $1 billion in projected revenue. In a separate development, Ben Shalom's boxing promotion, Boxer, has also filed legal action against Zuffa Boxing. The lawsuit focuses on the signing of two fighters, Chris Billum Smith and Sam Hickey, who were reportedly set to compete under the Zuffa Boxing banner in Bournemouth, England. The claim states that Billam Smith was still within an exclusive negotiating window and that Boxer held matching rights to retain him under contract. Meanwhile, Boxer also alleges that Hickey was still bound by a long-term agreement at the time his Zuffa Boxing deal was announced publicly. As a result, Boxer Promotions is now seeking urgent injunctive relief against both Zuffa Boxing and Sky Sports, the broadcasting partner involved in UK distribution. The case adds further complexity to an already expanding legal situation surrounding the new boxing venture. Industry observers are now questioning whether these lawsuits could create serious complications for the long-term stability of Zuffa Boxing, or whether they will simply be minor legal obstacles for a major TKO-backed organization with significant financial power and resources. Despite the growing legal pressure, Zuffa Boxing continues to move forward with its early-stage operations, as more developments are expected in the coming weeks regarding both court proceedings and potential settlements. At the same time, attention remains on how these disputes may impact fighter signings, promotional deals, and broadcasting arrangements, as the company attempts to establish itself in the competitive boxing market. For now, the situation remains ongoing, with multiple legal fronts open against Zuffa Boxing, and further updates expected as the cases progress through the legal system and new filings emerge in the near future. Move on to another news. The UFC has officially announced new fights, with several matchups confirmed for upcoming events, adding more excitement to the fight calendar. One of the highlighted bouts will see Gaethje take on Leon Shabazian on June 20th as part of a UFC Fight Night card in Las Vegas. Ahead of the matchup, Gaethje shared a fight graphic highlighting his finishing ability, revealing that he has recorded 11 KO finishes in his career so far. Even more impressive, 10 of those knockouts came in the first round, showing his explosive start-fight power and aggressive style inside the cage. His recent form has also been strong, as he is 4-1 in his last 5 fights. The only loss during that stretch came against UFC and Bellator veteran Lauren Larkin, a setback that still stands as a key learning point in his recent run. On the other side, Shabazian enters the fight with momentum of his own. He last competed in March, where he secured a submission victory over Robert Hale at a Tough Enough event. That win helped him bounce back and maintain confidence heading into this UFC matchup. Shabazian also holds a 4-1 record in his last 5 fights, with his only defeat coming against TUF 32 tournament winner Ryan Lower. Both fighters now enter this matchup with similar recent records, setting up a competitive clash in the middleweight division. The announcement has added more attention to the upcoming Fight Night card in Las Vegas, with fans already debating which fighter has the edge in striking power versus grappling control. Meanwhile, in other combat sports news, Darren Till made headlines after an impressive performance in his BKFC debut, where he secured a win over Aaron Chalmer in bare-knuckle action. His transition into BKFC has drawn significant attention, with fans watching closely to see how he adapts to the new rule set and fighting environment. The UFC continues to stack upcoming events with fresh matchups, as fighters across multiple divisions look to build momentum, climb rankings, and make a statement in front of a global audience. With new fights being announced and fighters staying active across different promotions, the combat sports calendar remains packed, offering constant action and storylines for fans to follow as the season continues to develop. Move on to another news. Sean Strickland has been seen helping Michel Pereira prepare for his upcoming fight against Shara Bullet, adding a surprising twist to fight camp preparations ahead of a key matchup. Recently, Michel Pereira posted a video from the gym showing him sparring with Strickland, with both fighters exchanging work inside the cage as they sharpen skills ahead of fight night. The footage quickly gained attention online as fans reacted to the unexpected pairing. During the session, Strickland was seen actively engaging in sparring, bringing his usual pressure style while helping Pereira adjust to different looks and movement patterns. The training session also included light moments and gym banter, showing a relaxed but focused environment. Strickland later confirmed in the comments that he was specifically trying to mimic Pereira's upcoming opponent, Shara Bullet, in order to help him prepare for the unique fighting style he brings into the octagon. He even joked that he would wear a pirate patch to better replicate the visual and stylistic elements of Shara's approach, adding humor to an already unusual training collaboration. Michel Pereira is scheduled to face Shara Bullet at the upcoming Fight Night event featuring Fiziev versus Terz, set for June 27th. The The matchup has already generated interest due to the contrasting styles of both fighters, with Pereira's explosive athleticism going up against Chara's unorthodox striking and movement. Meanwhile, attention in the MMA world continues to grow around multiple storylines, including betting controversy and fighter predictions surrounding major upcoming fights. In related chatter, Arman has reportedly placed a massive $1 million bet on Justin Gaethje to defeat Ilia, adding even more hype and discussion around the lightweight division and its biggest matchups. With fighters crossing over into training camps, unexpected collaborations forming, and high-stakes fights approaching, the UFC landscape remains highly active and unpredictable. Fans continue to react across social media as training footage, fight announcements, and betting news circulate rapidly, building anticipation for a packed schedule of upcoming events across multiple divisions. As Fight Week approaches for several major cards, attention will remain on how these preparations translate into performance once fighters step back inside the octagon under pressure.